Okay, let's get started. So, thank you, first of all, everyone, for joining. A little bit of introduction. I am Jonathan. I am the CEO and co-founder of Tableo. I will be hosting the first part of the presentation, and then Ben, my co-founder and CEO, will continue showing you how to take these ideas and strategies into a practical way. So, together between us, we have a wealth of history when it comes to digital marketing and building product and scaling companies. And we wanted to share some of this knowledge with you. We can get started. So, a little bit of history. Tableo has been around for about 5 years. It started with humble beginnings. During COVID times, we were noticing a shift, a need for restaurants to move away from the paper diary into a more digital means, a more centralized, more organized. During that time, restaurants started collecting a wealth of information through their booking history, through other channels, the integrations with serve with Google, Michelin, and all other integrations, including POS. And we wanted to look at the data because competition is ever increasing. Running a restaurant is getting harder than ever. And we wanted to understand booking patterns that are happening throughout. So what we found out is very interesting is that even though the restaurants that we have such a high level of service, have good food, amazing reviews, it's still only about 1 in 11 guests will return to the restaurant within the same year. We wanted to understand this a little bit more. So we said, okay, let's take a large cohort, nearly 1 million reservations to understand these patterns. We did globally, and then we wanted to see, okay, so how will this fare one country versus another? And what about locals and tourists? That may skew the data. And what we have found out is that there is a similar pattern throughout all the countries. So we work with restaurants in over 90 countries now. We did an analysis on the guests that are joining us today, those who are members of Tableo, and each one of you have about 9,000 guests on average in your database. So the question is why? Why is this happening? We wanted to figure that out. You are already doing an amazing job when it comes to marketing and advertising. We've seen the level of improvement when it comes to your social media, your website, your TikTok reels. Everyone has starting adapting and advertising more. But still, that question remains of how can we get more guests to return? If you think about it, if you're already having 1 in 11 return within the same year, how will that impact you as a business if they will return 2 or 3 more times? The first thing that we need to look at is how the market operates right now. For the most part, it works like this. So you do your advertising and all your activities to get customers to come to your restaurant to enjoy the dining experience. You deliver on the promise, they come to you, they do have a good experience. You do update some data when it comes to the guests, something on Tableo, for instance, that if they were VIP, if they have any food preferences, or maybe they filled it in themselves. Usually it stops really around there. Maybe you will send an automated message for them to leave you a review. When it stops right there, it's transactional, and this part of the restaurant industry. But the new shift that is happening is how can we re-engage them? How can we re-engage the guests that already came and experienced our dining, get them to return, give them a reason to return? I also want to preface this because what we're going to be talking about is very basic. It's not rocket science. We're just going to be talking about the fundamentals. What you need to understand is that you don't need much. You use the analogy of flour and water. If you just add 2 things, yeast and salt, you can make bread. If you add butter, you can make pastry. It doesn't need that much. If you see any words that are written here or any words you've ever read, it all comes from a combination of 26 characters. That's it. So you already have a good base. And it's just some deliberate additions which will give us a completely different result. Before we get any further, we have a small poll that we would like you to participate with. I would like to ask you some questions. I would really appreciate if you can fill it out. So the questions are, so we collect little or none is 17%. We collected but use it only for service is 46%, so this is the big majority. We use it for marketing but not regularly is 20%. And we use it regularly for marketing campaigns, it's 17%. So thank you for sharing that. So this is the gap that we want to fill. We want the lower parts to be a higher percentage because it's going to be beneficial for you. What we're going to be talking about, it all starts from the booking history, from all the reservation data that you have collected. And you are sitting on a gold mine. And having there, sitting there, is basically like having money and putting it in a drawer. It's there, but it's not going to do much for you. So if you invest it smartly and consistently, over time, you can get those 5%, 6%, 7% returns. So this is what it's all about. You are sitting on an asset that some of you are not using. And it all starts between going from transactionals into a building more of a relationship with your guests. So what are relationships built? We have trust, we have loyalty, we have knowing one another. The more you know the other person, the better to be, no matter how big or deep it is. But mostly good relationships are built on communication. So without communication, it's simply transaction. And ideally, we change that. So we change that by starting with having a personal touch and by understanding that not all our guests are equal. So you have different segments of your guest, and it's not just one linear list where all of the same. So what do we mean by segments? Segments are any categorization of your guests. So it could be, for instance, those who came one time to the restaurant are very different from those who visit your restaurant 5 times. Those who are meat lovers are different in communication when it comes to vegetarian. Those who are tourists coming by, walking by, coming to your restaurant are different than locals, right? So by understanding a bit more who is VIP, who is not, and the repeat customers, then you can do things in different ways. So there are some basic elements as well where even though we see a large percentage of restaurants doing it, it's not enough. So for instance, when it comes to reviews, so some restaurants reply to reviews with just saying thank you, but how different it would be if you mentioned the guest name and had a personal note about it, right? It's a small thing that can make a big difference. People who are writing reviews, they want to be seen and heard. There's also a small percentage who are not even replying to the review. And we suggest that you really do that. It's very important that the people who make effort, they receive something in return. Or let's say you want to start a new strategy, right? Where you call some of your guests yourself after service. Obviously, you're not going to be able to call each guest, basically not scalable, but imagine if you create a segment where you say, those who have come 3 times, 5 times, those who are VIP or whatever criteria you choose from, you give them a personal call. You or someone from management, ask them about their experience, like how was your dining experience? And you can have a conversation with them about it. Or what do you think we can do better next time? They're going to tell you things that otherwise you wouldn't know. Some of this already happens in the restaurant. You do have some characters in the restaurants who have good conversations with your guests. And you know that is impactful, but you can add more to if you segment the audience to the ones that you want to call. There are always more benefits to trying a new strategy. And one of them, for instance, could be preempting any issue that may arise. So let's say they came 3 times and the last time the meat wasn't cooked well enough. It's very hard to have 100% great service all of the time, even though we strive for it. But there, you can preempt it. It's like, oh, all right, that's not the level of standard that we hold ourselves to. And I'll take note and I'll make sure that the next time you come back, this will not happen again. So having that conversation or having that opportunity to build that relationship, even if interaction wasn't the best that it could be, is going to give them more reasons to come back because they know you a bit better. You had communication. It's personal. In a world where everything is automated and AI, the more personal the touch is, the more dividends it's going to pay for you. The second thing that we want to talk about, and it is probably the most underutilized channel in restaurant marketing, is email. Email is one of the oldest technologies of the internet and is still not utilized well enough. And you should, and there are very reasons why you should. It is very welcome because they gave you the permission. So if you have a reservation management system, if you are part of Tableo, guests, while they're booking, they can check if they want to receive communication from you or promotions or offer. You just need to oblige. It's way cheaper than advertising. Because remember, you already got the guest, you already paid the advertising for Facebook, Instagram, whatever you are doing. So having those people who are waiting for you, who want more from you, and you are not replying to them, you're not communicating with them, you are missing out. So if you use this effectively, it's going to be great for you. When we have these conversations with restaurants, and we do a lot, both Ben and I still are very much into it, and we talk with restaurants all the time. There are reasons why people don't use email. So some is lack of education, right? They don't know how to do it, they don't have a marketing team, and it's fine and understandable. Some do not know what to write. And some like would say maybe they don't open my email, and yes, some of them won't. It's fine. There is this notion called inbox branding, right? So what is inbox branding? Inbox branding is the idea of the more repeated communication, just seeing your brand name in their inbox is already going to help you get top of mind. So think of it like a billboard, right? If you are brands purchase billboards, why? You're passing by and you pass the billboard and you see brand name, brand name, brand name. Sometimes the billboard has one sentence and you still don't have time to read it, but you know that the brand is there. That gives you top of mind. So mind you, the emails that we want to send, the communication that we want to send to our guests, we want them to open it. And there are techniques and strategies, but what we're saying is you don't need to be afraid of it. Never gonna have 100% open rate, but those who open it, they want to do it. Gonna build a relationship with them. So when it comes to email marketing, top of mind is really the bonus. Like what we need to focus on is giving them value. If you give them value, if they give them a reason to open it, your sequential emails that they're going to get from you, they're going to be waiting for them. They want to know more for you. It has to be give before you ask. So it shouldn't be just on the promotionals, right? They need to be worth reading. But the most important thing that we need to do for this to be effective is for you to build a story in your guests, for them to understand that you are not just some other restaurant, but there is a story behind it. And when they start learning about that and your restaurant, that is what branding is, not your logo. So there are few email types that you can send that we are going through together. And I also, even before starting discussing it, these marketing strategies are not for email only. You can use them in any other medium that you are using. They are effective. So when you say we don't know what to say, the main thing, like the first thing that we can think about is story, like how to tell your story. And every restaurant has a story or stories, multiple stories. And this could be, let's say, talking about your signature dish and how it came about, meet the chef and their journey, or any character in your restaurant. So there are restaurants, for instance, who one of the characters is their grandfather, right? Because he started this journey and he built them. And even though he's not their operation anymore, he is quite a character that people love and they build on top of it. That's a unique story. It could be, for instance, how it came about. It can even be something about the street or the hotel that your restaurant is attached with, or any history. All that, people are very interested, especially nowadays, of learning your story. If you think about popular media, reality TV is one of the most popular ones there is because people want to know about other people. Starts building your story with them is going to help you. Again, I'm going to mention it once again, not being just another restaurant. So when building a story, we focus on our four P's. Purpose is like, why is this like this? Or why is it the story? The person, provenance, anything about history and so on about the restaurant, and your product. A second type of communication that you can do over email is education. Which wine to pair with what and why, right? Why is this particular wine better with this particular meat? It's a very interesting story to read about what's in season now, what's changed in the menu. And maybe give them ideas of how to cook it at home. I know some of you, some of our guests, are even on TV, like giving shows, like giving recipes. Why? Because you know it works. Something about localized food, how to order like a local. So when you teach something, there you earn a level of respect, which is very different than just the serving part or the hospitality part of the industry. I'm pretty sure you can think about 5 ideas right now of some educational material that you can put in. And the other is occasional. The occasional part does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So there are some with personal moments, like when it comes to birthdays and then anniversary. It's very hard to do this if you don't have a reservation system. Tableo helps with that. Ben is going to show you about that later. But then the others, you know, the big ones, the Valentine's, the Mother's Day, the Christmas, local fees, like all of those are opportunities to get top of mind. So you know they need to book. Why not make them choose you? Why not show up for the moments that matter to them? So like give them a reason to come back. Remember, nowadays people have so many more options and so little time. And you are not only competing with the restaurants in your street or your city, but with every other dining, experience money that they want. So whether it's going out to a club, whether it's staying at home, ordering some takeaway, you need to be there when these opportunities matter. So they think of you. So you have special events like wine tasting and suppers, dim sum nights, or an Italian pasta night. All this is an opportunity to stay in touch. And of course, offers. Like if you have any offers that you can give them, whether it's a global offer, 10% off at a particular time, or something that's a personalized offer that you can do with Tableo by the segmentation, I really suggest that you go for it. It is all about working smarter, right? So now you can have the segmentation part and you have some ideas of how you can communicate with your guests. And it's a matter of how you can put them together. With Tableo, you're going to be able, for instance, to see who didn't return to your restaurant in the last 90 days or 4 months, 5 months. And you can send a particular message to them. The point is to always give them a reason to come back. So the cheapest guest to win, as you pretty sure already know, is the one who already came and loved your experience. They're waiting to hear from you. So before we go on to the next part and we talk about how you can do this practically, which is Ben is going to show you, I want to preface this that this is not a secret ingredient. It really is about the basics, but if you do it with purpose and consistently, your restaurant is going to be in a better position. You have the flour and water. Now it's time to knead into bread. So I will pass it on to Ben. So he takes on the next part of the presentation. Ben?
Hi everyone, good afternoon, and thank you for your time so far. I'm going to be sharing my screen, walking you through how easy it is to set up many of the concepts that John mentioned in Tableo right away. So I'm going to go ahead, share my screen. I want to start with the part of collecting of data. So what John was saying is that you already sit on a wealth of data. Either you're collecting it manually, or people that work with a CRM, you might be using another. I know that there are some people that are not that have joined that are not Tableo guests. They might be collecting it in any way. For people that are Tableo customers, from the 1st of July, we have upgraded you to the new Tableo widget. So I'm showing you here just a example, a vanilla example connected to my test account to show you how data is being collected pretty much automatically without you and your staff lifting a finger. It's happening when the guest is booking online. So when they're selecting the number of people, the date, the time, their dining area. Here you can have images for your dining area. Another update that we did. They click next, and here I'm going to start putting in my details and my number. And then this section of 4 elements is completely new. Here, the guests can start to say if it's their birthday, date night, business meal, whatever. I'm going to say it's an anniversary, for example. So I don't know. Let's say 20th July, birthday. Again, all of this is optional. So this is not mandatory. The guest can choose not to enter it. And also from your end, you have full control to remove any section or item within here that you wish. So let's say the obvious one, we have some places that don't do vegan food, and they're a steakhouse, or they must introduce these ingredients, so they want to remove vegan. You have the ability to do this from the back end, and we can help you do this if you wish. But by default, these would show, and you can add even more dietary restrictions as well if you wish, because there are some more specific ones out there. So as you can see here, and I'm going to show you how it's going to work in Tableo as well, in the back end, is all this information, anniversary, in this case, birthday, lactose intolerant, and then in comments, I am coming with Toby. The customer here, the final step is they need to agree to these two boxes. One is mandatory, the other is their choice. So the first one is basically saying, yes, I'm willing to pass on my name, email, and number for the sake of record keeping for the booking, for the reservation. But the other one is totally optional. And here, any guest that is selecting this is basically telling you, yes, Mr. Restaurant, I would like to receive offers and promotions and marketing information from your restaurant. So these people are giving you the consent. They're actually clicking a button to say, yes, I'm interested to hear from you. Restaurant A, Restaurant B, Restaurant C. So this is the wealth of information. This is the gold mine that John was talking about, because this information immediately stored into your Tableo guest database, in your patron database. So it's not just there, but it's shown practically for you at every view you use. There are people that use the diary, the floor plan, the day view. I'm going to focus on the diary. Here you can start to see this booking I just made, all the information that I just entered. So that it's an anniversary, that I come with a pet, that I'm VIP. These would have been already set because I'm a repeat guest myself. So I'm coming with my pet doggy, basically all this information, and you can go deeper into the profile. So here, if I go into the particular profile of this customer, again, you have even more information. You'll know all the booking activity, past and upcoming. You can see their birthday, their anniversary day. And if the birthday is close, plus or minus 7 days, it will show your hostess or yourself the birthday is upcoming. So you can treat guests and greet the guest maybe with a surprise, with a cocktail or whatever. And this is all the information shown about the GDPR. So they're saying, yes, store my information for my booking, but I'm also interested in SMS, email marketing, etc. So this is one of the biggest points. I mean, I would say the fastest collection of data is being done from your bookings. Why? Because you have all your guests working for you, building this database for you. But you can also add data yourself. So like the VIP, or I'm going to show you, let's say, low spender or high spender. These are internal tags that you can enter yourself. So VIP, always late, high spender, low spender. These are internal ones that you can use to communicate with your staff of how to treat these people as you see fit. So you have multiple points where this information is being stored, collected, and being prepared in a practical way for what I'm about to show you next, which is now what do you do with this information? By the way, one important thing as well, for those customers that have the POS integration, because we are integrated with Oracle, Symphony, with Lightspeed, with Augur, and many others, is that if there is POS integration, there is also the collection of the spend of your guests. If you wish, this is all optional. So you can get how much they ordered and how much they spent in total, what is their average per visit, as you can see here. You can even drill down deeper to see what items they purchased. So you might see that guest Federico Vega has come 6 times but canceled twice. He spent 554, and there's this revenue data which you can then build segments on. This is what I'm going to show you next. So this is the basis for what we have built into Tableo, which is what I'm going to show you now, which is a fully fledged guest marketing and CRM platform married closely, natively with the bookings side of Tableo, with the reservation management. We have branched now into this area to add more value to restaurants, which I think many of you can start benefiting from today. I'm going to show you how. So the first thing I want to show you is automations. These are really beautiful 3 automations that you can set up easily. I'm going to walk you through it, which from today, they can start giving you value. So I'm going to talk about, I'm on this account, right? Tableo webinar account. And by default, there are these 3 automations: anniversary, birthday, and we miss you. I'm going to focus on we miss you because this is something that you can enable right now while we're speaking. So the settings then for birthday anniversary are pretty much the same. So let's go on we miss you. We miss you allows you to set a parameter, a setting for when you want to communicate with guests that haven't visited your restaurant in X time, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It's up to you. Then how to communicate with them, email or SMS or both of them. If you want to send to locals or not, based on the prefix, maybe you want to do the We Miss You campaign only to locals because tourists might have left, right? Then the text that you want change here or add. So anything you add here, I'm just going to do We Miss You here. And any text that you change here will be sent automatically to these guests that hit these settings, the trigger and the time frame for when it needs to be sent. You can even send a preview to yourself. And this is again just test account. But if you have your branded emails with your logo, colors, whatever, it will also send in those branding palettes. I'm gonna send this to myself, and it will show my email shortly. There you go. This email would be sent to the guest. And from here, you can change this button as well. So book a table or whatever it is. So hey, come back. We'd love to have you. Maybe you might want to give an offer, or maybe you want to give something on the house, or maybe you don't want to and just tell them, we'd love to have you back. We have a new menu. See you soon. You just save. This campaign is up and running immediately, and you will start to see who your eligible patrons are for this to be sent, and basically who's upcoming in the next few days. I've got these people that is going to send in 8 days, because in 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, they will hit this criteria. The other automations, anniversary and birthday, work exactly the same, but the difference is the trigger is if they have their upcoming birthday or anniversary, based on what they would have populated at the booking stage, as I showed you before. So I strongly recommend any Tableo customer enable these right away, because you will start to see the benefit of them pretty quickly. And I'm going to show you how you can monitor success of these. You're not in the dark. You know how these campaigns are running for you. I'm going to show you that later on. The next part I want to show you that is in Tableo, which is really, really cool, really extensive, and really value-packed, is the curated campaigns. So what do I mean by curated campaigns? Curated campaigns are a campaign that you want to create, design, segment, however you wish from scratch. So if let's say you want to send a Mother's Day campaign or a Christmas campaign to inform your guests of a new menu or an event, whatever it is. So once you click on create campaign, we already pre-populate these samples and templates for you, so you can just get up and running immediately at the click of a button. And I'm going to walk you through this process. For those that might have a marketing agency or a marketing team or a marketing designer, whatever it is, that can build them from scratch with HTML, you can even start from scratch and just import the HTML. Again, click, copy, paste, and you're up and running. For today's example, I'm going to go on an evening of food and music. So let's say food and evening, food and music. So let's start to break it down. To create the campaign, it's just 3 simple steps. Design, select who you want to send it to, review it, and send. You start with the title, you name it whatever you want. This is internal. Then you've got the subject. Again, you can change it, but we pre-populate the guest name and your restaurant name. We pre-populate the guest name in the automations and here, because just adding, the most important thing you need to do when communicating with your clients is grabbing their attention. Once you grab their attention, then you can deliver your message. The best way that you can grab their attention on email is on the subject using their name. There are studies that show that people react way more to an email with the subject line with their name rather than a generic email. You'd be surprised how effective this is. And we use the same strategy internally at Tableo. You've got the template basically, which you can drag and drop, and you can change the photo, you can change the image, you can do whatever you want. Here, you can change the text, you can even add different items, such as if you want to add a button, for example. It's really simple of drag and drop, click and replace, upload image. Very, very straightforward. I can't think of anything more user-friendly. Then you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead with this, and I'm going to send you a campaign, actually. So I'm going to say, let's change this. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. We hope you found it useful. Book below from the button. That's it. The button here, by default, it goes with your booking link. So again, you don't have to do anything. It goes to your online booking form, your widget. And then you click audience and you can select, am I sending this for a particular event with a particular date, or am I sending it for any date? Why are we asking this question? I will show you shortly, but this is because of tracking. So you can really measure how performant this campaign is for you. It will make much more sense as I show you the next thing. So here, what's really, really cool because I know there are many chains attending today, is that this tool that we've built, the CRM tool, is not only for 1:1 restaurants. We have people here that have 4 restaurants, 5, 10, 15, 20, and you can use this fully fledged tool to communicate with the whole group. Let's say you have 10 outlets, 15, or specific outlets, or you can even cluster them. So let's say you have 10 outlets, but 5 are of the same brand. Let's say they are a burger, pizza and burger place. But then you have the other 5, which are fine dining, for example. You can create the fine dining cluster, and you can also create the pizza burger place. So you can send curated messages to the audience that really needs to hear and listen to that message. So you're not mixing basically your VIPs and your fine diners with people that just go for a pizza and a burger. That's what I'm trying to show you here. For the sake of this demo, I'm only going to go on the Tableo webinar account. Just a heads up, we, as this test and your data will be deleted after, you're going to receive an email right now. So this is the review page. So it shows me what content I'm sending. It will show me who it's going to be sent to and who is excluded, for what reason, and your email quota. And then you can send it now or schedule. You can, if you want last before sending, you can send yourself a test. I'm confident with this, and I'm going to send it now. And in a few moments, you are going to see in your inboxes, this is a test account. So for now, it might have gone to your promotions or whatever that is expected, and it's fine because this is a new account, and you can test it out for yourself how it looks and feels. Now, the last thing I want to mention to you about this part is tracking. Here, this is the campaign we just sent right now. Already it was sent to the reception are 210 and sent to 121. And for the sake of GDPR, I'm not going to show the information, but I'm going to go on the dashboard. Basically, for anything that you send and using the booking link, you have statistics to measure how are these things working. How many contacts, what was the open rate, how many people clicked, and also the beautiful thing, conversions. So from here, these are in turn our stuff, so nothing private here, but basically you will be able to see who clicked, who opened, who clicked, who booked, and from which campaign. So you can truly measure your return on investment, and not just from the curated campaigns, but even the automations that I showed you before. I want to bring it to a close. I am very mindful of your time. I'm going to pass on to Jonathan. Thank you.
For that, Ben. Thank you for all of those of you who remained till now. It's been amazing. Thank you very much. Very grateful.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.